What was the best thing one person ruined for the rest of us? Bin Laden ruined kids being able to see the cockpit of a plane. Andrew Wakefield ruined vaccinations for us. One fraudulent paper in the Lancet, later retracted. And now even rich Californians are getting measles and idiots everywhere are ducking up herd immunity. Infants and people with compromised immune systems are in mortal danger thanks to this. Chuckleduck. Some asshole uploaded 75 terabytes to Microsoft OneDrive causing them to retract the free unlimited storage. Bill Cosby ruined Bill Cosby for the rest of us. The ducking shoe bomber guy ensured that we'd have to spend the next 10 years fumbling with our footwear at airports. That's been really effective. The name Vidkun was ruined in Norway by Vidkun Quisling. There's actually an old joke from the war times about it. Hello, I would like to change my name. Okay, what is your name? Vidkun Itstin. And what would you like to change it to? Paul Itstin. By you old a month ago. The Itty movie Tuck Everlasting ruined the best part of my local state park. A few miles outside of Forest Hill, MD is Rock State Park. A part of that park is Kilgore Falls, Maryland's tallest waterfall. It is known more commonly as Falling Branch. The reason for this is that a large tree had fallen many years ago, landing in the water and leaning on the rocky cliff of the falls. This acted as a perfect branch to climb up 10 feet and jump into the very deep swimming hole at the base of the falls. It was an incredibly fun recreational area for kids and adults alike. Then the duckers that stat out Tuck Everlasting came to our town and saw the beautiful, nationally protected area and thought, well, this looks like a wonderful thing to ruin for this town. They came, cut down the tree for which Falling Branch got its name. They filled in the swimming hole with 10 feet of rocks, filmed their one scene, and ducked off without fixing anything. The once amazing location was never the same. Duck those guys. Duck Disney. Duck everyone. We have had Pumpkin Chunkin in Delaware every year for the past 25 plus years. People would build their own cannons and compete to see who could launch pumpkins the furthest. All non-profit and a major benefit to the community. 3 years ago some 360 pounds drunk guy on a four-wheeler flipped and paralyzed himself at the event. Sued the farmer who owned the field, ending Pumpkin Chunkin forever. Duck that guy. I hate whoever made Netflix and chill a viral sensation. Now I can't invite a girl over to watch a movie without it sounding overly suggestive. Ethan Zuckerman, the guy who invented pop-up ads. He even apologized later on for creating them. I used to be able to have my cell phone at my work desk until Summer Shat in Houston was using it to take pictures of people's social security numbers. I miss my podcasts. The KKK ruined ghost costumes. Shopping in a civilized manner was ruined by the idiot who created the phrase "the customer is always right." Now we have an endless parade of entitled assholes ruining the lives of people who deal with the public, and the fellow shoppers who have to witness these disgusting individuals put on their disgraceful performances. Lee Harvey Oswald ruined presidential parades. Noah, by not swatting those two goddamn mosquitoes. The person who authorized the experiments on the live reactor in Chernobyl and the deactivation of the safety features ruined nuclear power for everyone. Not one but 3 people at my work ordered Jimmy John's at the same time, but none of them told each other, so 3 different deliveries came in at the same time for 3 different sandwiches. We are now blacklisted from Jimmy John's. All I want is a sandwich sometimes. Always love trumpets, but they'll never be the same after John Cena. Marijuana, Harry J. Anslinger. More than Anslinger claimed cannabis caused people to commit violent crimes and act irrationally and overly sexual. The FBN produced propaganda films promoting Anslinger's views, and Anslinger often commented to the press regarding his views on marijuana. My grandfather believed that till the day he died. Rich Skrenta releasing the first computer virus. We're so saturated with warnings about viruses and other malware that we never stop to think about how weird it is that such a thing even exists. Some prick started it, and now it's everywhere. The lady who got on top of a Galapagos tortoise at the breeding center and rode it for fun. Now people can't go into the enclosure with the giant tortoises. In my town, in the 70s they used to have a river rapids race. People would build homemade rafts and float down the river. They had bands playing along the banks and people would have kegs on their rafts. From the pictures that I've seen, it looked like a total Woodstock style party on the river. Then, some asshole had to get drunk and fall off a raft and drown. Game over. Duck that dude. The kid that got Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and Beyblades banned at elementary school. Duck you, David. Kindle used to offer unlimited 3G internet access for life for its e-readers. Summershat wrote an article on how to tether that connection for other devices. Amazon took away unlimited and restricted it to 50 MB month. Every 4th of July a 2-hour-long parade runs down Main Street in my hometown. Thousands of people come out to watch. One of the best parts of the parade was the water battles between the high school cheerleaders riding on the fire trucks and the crowd. The cheerleaders would have water guns and so would everyone watching the parade. And each year everyone was prepared for the ensuing water war. One year we even hooked up a nozzle to the garden hose and absolutely drenched the cheerleaders. Fantastic event and loads of fun. One year some lady's camera got wet and threw a fit. Complained to the city. Got water guns banned from the parade. Ruined everyone's time. Straight up Buzzkillington. Edit. Sorry. The story doesn't end with a wet t-shirt contest. I'm late for the party, but kinda surprise eggs. They're illegal in NY thanks to that one kid who ate the ducking toy. What the hell happened to all of the high diving boards? Meth cookers that made getting real Sudafed, the one that actually works for colds, a pain in the ass to get. We used to be able to roll over vacation days, but one idiot genius saved up his days for 10 years to take an entire year off paid and also insisted he shouldn't be required to make his sales quota for that year since he was on vacation. Now none of us can roll over days. Edit. I think what makes this story better is that this is a company of over 300,000 people, and this applies to the whole company. Used to be I would click on anything starting with 2 girls. Not anymore. Ulamparu single-handedly made an entire fandom question the one thing we all previously agreed on. Now nobody knows whether Jar Jar Binks was a bumbling buffoon, or the greatest threat the galaxy has ever known. Now instead of a universal hate for the Gungan, we have brother fighting brother in the street. Edit. Link to the offending post. Dang. Now my highest voted comment is about praising the genius that is Jar Jar Binks. A week ago, I would have laughed at somebody who said that. Hitchhiking. The idea of being able to hit the open road and visit far off places when one is broke or just looking to meet some interesting people. Some asshole had to come along and start murdering people and burying them in shallow graves. Which sort of ruined the image of a shallow grave too. Duck that guy. Nabokov ruined the name Lolita. Lance Armstrong ruined cycling for Americans. I don't think any of us will ever give a shit about cycling ever again. Not entirely ruined, but vaping now has the image of being a douche bag thanks to people using it for the sole purpose of blowing big clouds and competing for it. Vaping used to have the image of quitting tobacco. I'm almost down to 0 milligrams nicotine and have only cared about quitting not fogging up a Chili's or produce area in Walmart. I hate how vaporas have to feel like they are better than you and diss your vape setup. Congrats dude. You just made my mother pick cigarettes back up. Edit. RIP my inbox. Sorry if I didn't get back to some of you. Edit 2. The whole my mother part was intended for humor. That really didn't happen in case you didn't get it. You don't get it. And you never will get it Master Shake. Edit 3. Glad to see the other views on this and thank you all for discussing your opinions. Saying goodbye to someone at the gate at the airport. So long rom-coms with someone running to catch the person the second before they hand over their ticket aboard the plane. That 4chan guy made people stop trusting the iCloud. Heath Ledger as the Joker in Christopher Nolan's third Batman would have been the most anticipated performance ever really. Chocolate chip cookies. Some bastard decided to put raisins in them at some point. From now on I have to constantly check my cookie before eating it. Put them in oatmeal where they belong. I expect them there. It was 19 of them, but they made flying even more unpleasant than it already was. The swastika symbol. It's a Buddhist symbol that is considered to be a sacred and auspicious symbol in Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism. Now anything associated with it is immediately treated with disgust. Connie 2012 and donating to charities in Africa. I feel like everyone is now overly cautious when donating, and rightly so. Having pets on property you don't own. So many yeti pet owners that don't take care of their animals have made it super difficult to find an apartment park etc that's dog friendly. It's stupid expensive to rent and own a pet. The one idiot back in high school who brought a water bottle full of Everclear and decided to get it faced and puke on 2 people in the hallway. Everyone had to drink from the ducking water fountain. That water tastes like straight metal. Edward Snowden ruined surveillance for governments. Yoko Ono ruined the Beatles. Using the word Twilight. I really enjoyed that word. Now it conjures up images of fangirling tweens and lonely mothers, instead of that breathtaking moment when the last vestiges of orange from the day's sky meld and crash against the mauve blanket of the coming night. At least Stephanie Meyer can't take mauve away from me. Mauve Avenger. Forever. Eve completely ruined life for all of us. If it were not for her, there would be no pain in childbirth and man would not have to toil the ground for food. The Methodica that got 3 wishes and wished away magic and wishes. I would have liked to name my daughter Isis, or at the very least have the option to. The guy who decided to duck a monkey in Africa and ended up bringing AIDS to the world. Now I can't duck a monkey without being afraid of everyone getting pissed off. Clinton equals banging interns. Not one person, but those assholes who do 12 o'clock wheelies down the highway at 100 miles per hour ruined the image of motorcyclists. Reckless young drivers. I can barely afford to insure my car because there's a small percentage of people my age who are determined to get in as many crashes as they can to push up the cost for the whole age bracket. The guy who got Reddit banned in Russia. Come on. Nothing can come close to that. The person who came up with microtransactions in video games. Andrew Wakefield, 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 Andrew Wakefield. If you don't know who that is, he's the reason everyone here rages so much about vaccines and autism. To save you looking him up, he's the guy that has presented the only single sole piece of credible, seemingly, evidence that there is a link between specifically the MMR vaccine and autism. He's since been found to be a fraud, the paper withdrawn, him stricken off, and every credible major study ever been done ever in history has found that there is no link. It baffles me how it's become the vaccines, autism whole thing. Literally this one paper which was found to be fraudulent and for which the principal author was stricken off the medical register, proposed a link between one specific vaccine and autism, which, if it wasn't clear enough already, was found to be complete horseshit, academically, medically and ethically. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I've met people who think the anti-vaccination movement is very bad but don't understand that it was spawned from one guy fabricating one study and publishing one paper which was withdrawn as outright literal fraud only 6 years later. How has this spawned a movement? Andrew Wakefield spawned the stupidest, most destructive, lethal movement in recent medical history. Jesus ruined crucifixion. If it wasn't for him, we'd still be enjoying the show every other weekend in Texas. Fox Entertainment President Gail Berman cancelled Firefly. Of course. The fact that she showed the episodes out of order and buried it in a Friday night no viewers schedule didn't help. Writers' strike ruined Heroes. You were meant to save the ducking cheerleader, not go on strike, you twats. The dude that raised the pill from $1 to $750. In 356 BC, the Temple of Artemis was destroyed in a vainglorious act of arson by a man, Herostratus, who set fire to the wooden roof beams, seeking fame at any cost, thus the term herostratic fame. For this outrage, the officials sentenced the perpetrator to death and forbade anyone from mentioning his name, but Theopompus later noted it. Source: the guy who figured out he could increase donations to his charity by combining it with point-of-sale transactions is the reason I have to say no, I don't want to help cancer babies while I'm buying gum at CVS. Nixon: duck the war on drugs bullet. It's been a waste of billions of dollars and millions of man hours for ducking nothing. I can still go down the street and buy whatever drug I want within 15 minutes. My solo queue ranked game. Every time. Turkey Twizzlers. Jamie Oliver. Whoever it was that invented the idea of the 24-hour news network. Every day we are one step closer to the TMZ singularity because of it. Seriously, what the duck is news anymore? The jackasses who were trying to blow up a plane with whatever liquids it was, which now forces me to sneak Red Bull on the plane in my ass. I used to work in data entry, long hours of sitting at my desk, staring at my computer, little to no communication with my co-workers required. It was pretty awesome. When I started the job we were allowed to wear headphones to listen to music. I bought myself a portable CD player which played MP3 CDs. Yes, I'm old and this was a long time ago, and being able to listen to the music that I liked made the job so much more enjoyable. Strangely enough, only myself and one other person chose to do this. The other 4 people in the office just listened to the radio. Then we hired a new employee. 2 days in, she complained to the boss that the people wearing headphones were making her feel excluded, like we were shutting her out and didn't want to talk to her. The next day, we were told that we weren't allowed to wear headphones anymore. 2 days after that, the itch quit, but the rule remained. I spent the next year having to listen to the local EZ listening radio station from 9 to 5. Joe McCarthy. Rational nuanced discussions about what should be public services and what should handled by companies. That D in 5th grade that kept making salt mountains made it so everyone was forced to have plain fries and veggies in the cafeteria. Herd immunity and eradication of preventable diseases is being destroyed by horribly misinformed people. Edit. Herd's not heard. I became stupid when talking about stupid people. Napster. Effing Lars Ulrich. Dressing up for movie premiere nights. Duck that Dark Knight shooter asshole. Sense of innocence. This is stretching one person, but I was recently looking at sporting events, particularly the opening and closing ceremonies, in the 90s and early 2000s. There is a freedom and sense innocence that is absent in post 9/11 events. Maybe I'm looking at it with nostalgia glasses, but people just looked happier and more relaxed in the 90s sporting events, and there are definite themes of inclusion and peace in the ceremonies. WMG ruined the ability of YouTubers to use music in their videos without having every copyright troll out of the woodwork come screaming and forcing them to go through a lengthy appeal process. Jared. Subway. Not really. George Lucas both created and then ruined Star Wars. Jenny McCarthy really tarnished vaccinating children. Now she has an army of ashats not vaccinating their kids, which will lead to real trouble down the road. A company in the tech industry I know had a pretty lax drug policy, especially concerning weed. No drug testing, and the basic policy was just don't come to work high, though getting it faced on lunch was acceptable. Fast forward to a lead engineer coming into work every day rolling on oxys. He eventually passes out at work and 911 is called. Now all of a sudden the company flips 180 and zero tolerance drug policy. They started using suspicion of pot use as reason to fire people. Literally just had to be suspected of being high, and they'd fire you, without even doing a drug test. Needless to say, that guy is severely hated by everyone. No one will really care, but Christy Yamaoka ruined 3-level high pyramids for NCAA basketball cheerleaders. She was on top of a pyramid that is not difficult but still impressive. I've done it, and let go of one of her supports to wave at the crowd. Only an idiot would do that. Then she fell and broke her neck, and no more fun pyramids during basketball anymore. She went to Sweet Carbondale. There is a YouTube video of her dumbass cheering as she was rolled off on a stretcher. Corey Stringer used ephedra, Ma Wang, before going out in full football gear on a 100-degree day with 90 humidity and gave himself heat stroke and died. FDA banned the substance shortly after. A perfectly good fat burner used for thousands of years by the Chinese is no longer available because the shats can't control themselves. Kyle's mom ruined Terrence and Philip for everyone. The bowl cut, once a status symbol, showed you owned a bowl, is forever tarnished by the guy that shot up the church.